Hey guys, welcome back to Gabriella's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really nice summery prawn dish using orzo, which is this lovely little Greek pasta. I'm going to be using some really nice prawns that I got from Morrison's. These are brilliant. They're red Argentinian prawns and you can see how meaty they are. These have already been deveined. I just need to take the shell off them, but look at the size of that. It's a great prawn. I know a lot of the time people message me asking me where to get good quality prawns. I always find that it's difficult to get hold of fresh ones in a lot of fishmongers. The supermarkets have got a great range in the freezer section. So as I said, these ones are from Morrison, but also the Asian supermarkets have brilliant tiger prawns, which are the grey ones. They're also great to get as well. So the prawns are all deveined and prepped. I've kept the tail on them because I think it looks nice for presentation and it helps the prawns hold the shape a little bit. So into a pan, I'm going to add some olive oil, always using the best quality we can get. And we're going to start off with our sofrito, which is basically our base to our sauce. So sofrito can be made of anything from onions, carrots, celery, garlic. I'm going to do a little mixture of garlic, onion and thinly sliced peppers. I'm going to make sure the peppers are really thin to add more of a sweetness rather than a texture to the dish. And it just kind of lightens it and helps cut through the richness of the tomatoes. Chop my onion out. This doesn't have to be perfect. This is a really kind of quick recipe you can throw together, and we're not looking for a fine dice, just a nice rough chop. So I'm going to go down the middle again, and then protect my knuckles, just slice that onion. A little tip guys, if you're new to cooking or you're not very confident with your knife skills and you're looking for a chopped onion to be a bit smaller, a bit finer, once you've got a rough chop, you can just use your knife and just go over it again, and that'll make your chop to a finer dice. So don't worry about not getting it right the first time. So my oil's nice and warm, and into that I'm going to add my sofrito. So I've got my onion, I've got my thinly sliced peppers, nice and thin you can see. I've also got some garlic. That all goes in. I'm going to keep that on a nice medium-low heat just to soften everything so it gets nice and sweet without too much colour. While this is all softening down, I'm going to add some chilli. I've just got about half a teaspoon of dried chilli flakes. Remember, with dried chilli, it's a much more intense heat because it's been dried out. If it was fresh chilli, I'd go in with one whole. Also, my top little tip here, add some salt to this sofrito. This is going to help the water remove from the onions and the peppers and the garlic, and it's going to stop that from burning. Also, it adds great seasoning. Frying for 10 minutes now, and you can just see everything's got soft, and you can only imagine how good it smells in here right now. Garlic and onion frying is possibly my favourite scent, more than any expensive perfume, that's a fact. Okay, to this pan now we're going to go in with our prawns, and I've got some cherry tomatoes. I'm going to put them in straight away, some cherry tomatoes, and the next step now is we're going to add some white wine. So give it a quick toss together. And then we're going to go in with just a little splash, not too much. And you hear that sound, that's what we want. We want that heat, we want to reduce that down and cook off the raw alcohol so we're just left with a really nice background sweetness. Now I'm going to go in with some passata. Obviously we're using the best, the one and the only, the Mutti. Go in a little bit of that, not too much. And then to that I'm going to add a splash of water. This is just going to keep everything nice and loose and stop it from burning. Now because we're cooking with fresh prawns here, we don't want to cook this for too long because the prawns will end up going rubbery. So I'm just going to give everything a nice mix and just simmer for that for about 3 minutes, just until the prawns have lost that raw texture and they feel firm. That smells great. I'm going to do a little bit of salt and pepper, season that up, some oregano. And while that's simmering away, I've just put my orzo into the boiling water to cook now. And we're going to take that out when it's still al dente. We do not want to overcook it. So I've turned that off. That was only on for 2.5 minutes, but the prawns are cooked. I can't stress enough, you do not want to overcook those prawns. Overcooked rubbery prawn is the worst. Whenever I'm cooking any sort of pasta dishes or anything using tomatoes, I always like to finish it with a bit of fresh herbs. You always want to add fresh herbs at the end of cooking, just to keep the freshness. If you're using something like dried, that'll go in at the start of cooking. So a little bit of fresh parsley. And call me uncouth, but I'm going to have a little bit of lemon to serve with it. I love lemon with seafood, and it'll actually help with the richness and the sweetness of the tomatoes. So I'm going to get that ready for serving. Pasta's cooked. I'm not even going to bother draining it. I'm just going to go straight in because any of that excess pasta water is gold, liquid gold. That starchiness is what makes sauces thick and oozy and lovely. So that's going to go in. I'm even going to go with a little splash of pasta water. And I'm going to get that heat back up high just for a minute so we can get everything combined together. And we're going to go in with our chopped parsley and just get everything mixing nicely. This is ready to serve with one final taste of seasoning. Perfect. Heat goes off and into our serving dish. We're ready to serve. Into our dish. Gonna pile this high. This is great in the middle of the table as a sharing dish, or if you want, you can just have it for one. Kept the prawns for last because sometimes I think it's lovely when you're serving a dish to have the star of the show on top so you know what's inside as well. So put these on top. This would work great as well if you wanted to add some fresh squid, some mussels and clams. Any sort of seafood would take perfect place in this recipe. One final sprinkle of chopped parsley. And as well, I'm going to finish that with some extra virgin olive oil. This just adds a great shine to the dish, but also a great flavour. The grassiness is just going to add another level. Olive oil, and we've got our lemon wedges to serve. There you have it, guys. That is my summer prawn orzo pasta dish. Delicious. Thanks for watching.